Tupac Shakur was a man of many facets, and throughout his career, his music reflected a deep sense of empathy, stemming from his youthful observations of life in urban decay and poverty. Regardless of the theme, Tupac always sang with unmatched passion and emotion, which helped solidify his legacy as the most recognized voice in hip-hop. His intense approach to music captured and held everyone's attention, with his 96 double LP serving as the main stage for him to communicate with fans and foes alike. All Eyez On Me is the fourth and final album released by Tupac during his lifetime. This album marks the rapper's return after spending 11 months in the Clinton Correctional Facility, a maximum security prison that housed Tupac Shakur in 1995. Besides the common psychological torture of prison, Tupac also had trouble sleeping. In November of the previous year, on the eve of his conviction, he was shot in the lobby of a recording studio in Manhattan. In an interview with Vibe, he explained his situation. Although he planned to appeal the case, Tupac couldn't gather the $1.4 million needed to post bail. The royalties from his music weren't coming in fast enough, leaving him stuck with his headaches and nightmares. It was then that Suge Knight, co-founder of Death Row Records, stepped in. Suge paid Tupac's bail, and Tupac signed a 3-album contract with Death Row Records, which completely changed his life, Suge's life, and the course of hip-hop. This relationship resulted in the album All Eyez On Me, one of the most extensive, furious, paranoid, brilliant, and impactful albums of all time. The accumulated anger of Tupac during his time in prison was fueled by Suge, the assassination attempt, the press, and his rivals. While his previous album described the experiences of those running from the law, he now presented these issues in the first person. The album makes several statements, starting with the title, All Eyez On Me, which means all eyes on me. Another important statement was that the album was a product of Death Row Records. Even though Tupac was born in New York and grew up in Baltimore, he began his rap career in California. This made him widely accepted as a West Coast MC, and his association with the famous Los Angeles label solidified his presence on the West Coast. Even the album cover shows Tupac making the West Side hand symbol. The first single from the album, California Love, remained one of the main party and especially West Coast anthems. However, this concept was met with disdain by the East Coast, as by the end of '95, the rivalry between the two coasts was at its peak, with Death Row Records at the center of the tension. On October 12, '95, Tupac was released from prison, returned to Los Angeles, and immediately began recording. On the first night, he recorded I Ain't Mad at Ya, a heartfelt track for an incarcerated friend, where he reflects on the growing distance between them with a mix of pain and pride. But another sinister song was also recorded in that session, which would become the first track on the album. Ambitions as a Writer is the album's opening track and supposedly the first one Tupac recorded after being released from prison, where he unleashes 11 months of pent-up aggression with a powerful beat. Let's now talk about the most iconic songs on this record. All About You, the second track, is one of the album's most popular and successful singles, with a fun party beat and great lyrical prowess, where Nate Dogg delivers an incredible hook. Scandalous, the third track, is like a cousin to the second track, with a similar theme and great contribution from Nate Dogg, resulting in an overall beautiful production. Two of America's Most Wanted, the seventh track featuring Snoop Dogg, is one of the album's best lyrical songs, where Tupac and Snoop Dogg explain why they are two of the greatest rappers of all time, with a catchy beat and arrogant lyricism. There are several songs that make this record spectacular. The title track, All Eyez On Me, features great lyrics, a striking beat, and impressive flow, making it an exceptional part of the album. Can't See Me is another standout song, with great lyrics, flow, and a striking beat, in addition to the obvious choices like California Love, Two of America's Most Wanted, No More Pain, Only God Can Judge Me, and Life Goes On, to name a few. Life Goes On, the ninth track, is one of the album's best songs, a heartfelt tribute to loved ones who passed away. All Eyez On Me captures the true essence of Tupac, his vulnerability, fears, trials, and tribulations. A great example of this is the song Holla at Me, where he expresses his anger towards those who betrayed him in the past. The album contains a bit of everything, from songs for women like How Do You Want It, to narrative songs like Shawty Wanna Be a Thug, standing out as an album with elite rap. The opinion that Tupac wasn't a good rapper is the biggest lie ever told. He was an excellent MC, capable of expressing complex emotions and conveying his feelings uniquely in his verses. Got My Mind Made Up shows Tupac surpassing East Coast stars like Method Man and Redman with ease, as if he were a member of the Wu-Tang Clan. In Hearts of Men, Tupac shows the complexity of people and his unique ability to empathize with these emotions and traumas. Only God Can Judge Me is a confession and, without a doubt, one of Tupac's best songs. All Eyez On Me is a very long album, the first double album in hip-hop history, with just over 2 hours of duration, offering a complete view of Tupac's traumas, tribulations, and triumphs. There are also moments of joy, like Picture Me Rollin'. Another significant statement about the album is that it is star-studded, but Tupac remains the main artist. Tupac's previous albums maintained an organic feel, with few guest appearances, except for the song Last Words from his second album, Strictly For My Niggas, in '93, featuring Ice Cube and Ice-T. Even recognized producers were sporadic in his earlier works, but in All Eyez On Me, we see Tupac rhyming with some of the biggest stars and producers in hip-hop. Daz, a member of the Dog Pound, for instance, produces 5 of the 14 songs on Disc 1, and Tupac's frequent collaborator, Johnny J, produces 11 of the 27 tracks on the album. Along with Daz, Johnny J's production tempered many of the most memorable songs on the LP. Whatever Tupac's expectations were for All Eyez On Me, they were surpassed. The album stands in the elite of hip-hop albums that received Diamond certification from the RIAA and topped the Billboard 200 album chart. With all its statements, All Eyez On Me is seen by many as Tupac Shakur's definitive album, alongside Dr. Dre's The Chronic and Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, as masterpieces from Death Row Records that defined West Coast hip-hop in the 90s. More importantly, All Eyez On Me lives up to its ambitious title. Tupac knew that with all the controversies surrounding him at the time, he would be in a bright moment of his career, and he recruited a star-studded cast and delivered a crowd-pleaser. Sadly, we lost Tupac only 6 months after the release of All Eyez On Me in a tragic way, and since his death, he has become the most imitated artist in hip-hop. What cannot be duplicated is the monumental impact Tupac had not only on hip-hop, but on American pop culture and, more broadly, on musical culture. Specifically, in just 5 years, with the immediate impact of his masterpiece All Eyez On Me. That was the video. If you liked it, subscribe here to the channel and leave a like on the video. Don't forget to leave your comment about this album. Do you also like the album All Eyez On Me?